Okay, so I hope you did that challenge from before. Right now, we're going to learn how functions work. Simple functions, obviously, nothing too crazy. And also what scope is. Scope as in not a sniper scope, but like the range of how things are. So, for example, let's start with scope. I can say, obviously, you know what this is. I can say money equals 100. That's an integer variable. Very simple. And if I said, what if I said local dollars, just for example, I don't know, it doesn't really matter, also equals 100, right? So right now, this is normally how I type things. You don't have to type local dollars at the very top of the script, unless it's in a function that's different, but we'll get to that. So scope is like, here, let's make an example. If I did function, actually no, here, if I did if, actually let's put this back. If I did local player name equals let's say Kovar, just for another example. Yeah, you guys already know how to do this. I'm just with local in front of it because we want it to look nice, right? And it should work properly this time. So if I said local player money equal 1000, local is alive equals true. They're alive. Very nice. Now if I said I don't know, let's think of something. Actually here, let's do this. Local player gems. Let's say there's like a special currency for something. Gems equals 25. Very cool. Very cool. 25. That's it. So say they had 1,000 money, 25 gems, right? If actually, hold on. No. Very sorry. If I said if player money is over 100, then we can say local player gems equals maybe they like are buying something, right? And they're purchasing maybe they're purchasing 10 gems for $10 each, right? And we can say local player gems equals 10, print we can say player gems, right? And I can also put else statements and whatever. Don't need to, right? There's no point right now. But notice how this works. This would work just fine. If I press played, it would put 10 right here. It would say 10 player gems. Very cool. However, if I did this and I took out the percent from this within that little if statement, I pressed it here, so that's already red. I pressed play, nil. Because player gems doesn't exist. By the way, nil means nothing, like literally nothing, like at all. So, yeah, nil means nothing. And this doesn't work because you can see the red right here. This was declared inside here, declared initialized in here. Declared means like just this part right here. Initialized means this part right here. Well, actually, this entire part right here. You can see that's equal to 10. And initialization is like setting a value. A declaration is making the variable. So declaration and initialization right here. Very cool. So whenever I declare and or initialize something right here, right? Say if I got rid of this, right? And I did local player gems is equal to, I can say local player gems, right? And this would work. This is totally fine. It'll be equal to nothing right now. So if I did player gems right now, it's going to say nil first, and then it should say nil again, actually, because actually no, it won't say nil. Here, you'll see. Nil, then 10. Because what happened was, first off, started as nil, which it printed before this happened, so nil. It realized that it had over $100, so then it put the player gem, it set this variable to 10, and then it printed it, which is now 10. So it did work. However, if I do it a different way, if I declare the variable inside here, if I put local player gems, or even if I didn't put local, just hang with me. If I put it like that, it's just going to say nil, because what happened was when something's within another thing, whether that be an if statement or an else statement or anything like that, function 2, then it's going to be like, oh, wait, player gems doesn't exist out of here. This doesn't make sense. If I were to do this and I did that, there's now 2 instances of player gems. If I made this 100 right? And I put print player, or actually, if I did that and I did that print at the end, right? We should get 10 here and then 10 here. Yeah, see, 10 first because this is the first one that happens. You can see if player money is over 100, then local player gems equals 10, print player gems. These are two separate variables now because this one's within this if statement. So the scope is within the if statement. But for this one up here, this is a global scope. So this one's everywhere, except this one. It doesn't go into here because this one already declared something. Like if I put this, then both of these would be 10. But since it's not like that, since it was like this one, it takes this variable right here, this one to this one, but this one takes it from this one right here because we declared a variable in the scope of this if statement. I hope that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, let me know. I can try to explain it better. But I hope that makes some sort of sense. But yeah, let's keep this for now. Let's just keep the local is alive equal true. Okay. So say there was something that needed to happen multiple times, like let's see, function, I don't know, function check money, right? I want to check their money, so I'm going to put player money. So to make a function, we can say function, or we can also say a local function. You can put it either way. Normally we just do local function inside a local script because, I mean, they're not going anywhere. It's only going to stay in the client side, so don't worry about it. And then once I press enter, boom, there's going to be an end here. Everything almost always ends with end if it's like something special. So I should say that. I shouldn't say that. Don't listen to that. That's only if it's a function, local function, or if it's like an if statement, else if statement, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, it ends with end. Say there's something that need to happen a lot though. You'd make a function for that. So a function is just a piece of code that you could run a lot. So check money, I can say, I could put the if statement in here. I could say if player money over $100, then we can say print player name dot dot has over, or has, we could put that, we could put we could actually, we don't have to put that, has over $100, right? Wow, player name has over $100. They're rich, right? But what if they didn't? Then we're gonna say else. You could say print player username, bam. We're gonna say has less than $100. Instead of they're rich, they're broke. Oh no. So if, like, imagine this function wasn't here, right? And I had player money is 1,000, and I did so let's do this right here. Say I wanted, oh, by the way, just for example, if I want to do this, I put a bracket here, a left bracket. I put in, I think it's, or is it 2 brackets? It is 2 brackets. Okay, so dash dash bracket bracket, or left bracket left bracket, and at the very end I put right bracket right bracket. I can now see that it makes like a grouped comment. I forgot to mention that last video. Very sorry. That's how you do it. But for now, let's just say this doesn't exist right now, this little function. Let's say I did this, right? It would print, they have over $100. They're rich, right? What if I change the money to, just for some reason, say I change the money to $10. I did that again. See how much space this takes up? It's way too much space. So let's undo all of that, right? Let's get rid of this comment because we don't need these anymore. What if I just did this instead? Or no, if I did check money, I did player money, right? See that? Boom. Check money, player money. If I were, oops. There we go. Okay, it still worked. Whew, thank God. If I played it, boom, they're rich. Boom, they're broke. You can see that right there. So, sorry, 1 second. What happened was it just runs this function pretty much. It just runs all this code in here in such a little small text thing, and that's awesome. I mean, it saves so much space, and it saves you time, saves you lots of time reading, because no one wants to read too much. we're coding. We don't want to read that much. We're going to read a lot. We don't want to do that, right? So functions are a way to basically shorten repeated code. And yeah, that's what functions are. You can just do this, do the same exact thing. There is a time where we'll differentiate between local functions and normal functions like this. But for now, just do local and local scripts, and you should be fine. Okay. Yeah. One last thing. This right here, player money. Technically, I don't have to put this here because this variable, this variable is a global variable. However, if I were to, maybe I put like player money inside somewhere else, I don't know, like maybe it's another script or something and I had to call it from there, then I'll put it in here. This is called a parameter. Parameters are inside functions, like in this little parenthesis thing right here, and right here. So this is how you make the function. You just do check money, player money. So this is like the parameter. And to run it, I'd have to, well, actually, if I ran it right now, it wouldn't work. You can see it doesn't really work because right here, you can read the error yourself, right? And you can see that it says players dime cover, player script, yada yada. So from my player script, it's going to say attempt to compare number to nil, because what happened was there's no value in here. It sends in nothing, which is nil again. That's what nil is, nothing. So it sent in nothing, which is not good. It should have sent in something. So I'd have to put in player money, right? So that's what parameters are, and very useful. You're gonna use them a lot too. Sometimes you don't even need parameters, but a lot of the time you will. So keep that in mind. That's about it for now. Let me think of a challenge real quick. Okay, before I do the challenge, I did think of one, but there's one more thing I'd like to do. So instead of instead of print yada yada yada, let's say we wanted to print it out here, right? Or let's not go to that, sorry. Let's say we wanted to print it out here. So let's say I wanted to print, and then I did let me think. Print check money, and you can put the player money in here, right? Print check money, copy paste this right here. Very cool. So I want to print this. I don't want it to print in here. I want it to print out here, right? For whatever reason, sometimes this will happen. It's all up to what we do later in our project. Whoever's reading this, or whoever's not reading, watching this, you will have to learn this, and it will happen eventually at some point. Not this exactly, but something similar. So yeah, that's why I'm teaching you. Anyways, say we wanted to print that. We could say return, and then we can do we can basically put this. We can put all this right here. We could do this. We could do return player name, they're broke, right? We can also do copy paste this, right? You could do let's put over, just so this makes sense. Very rich, very cool. Okay, let's do, make sure to parentheses. Sorry, I'm a little rusty, forgot. Let's press play. See, it still prints. So if we for some reason wanted to print it out here, we could print it in this way. That's return anything. We could also return like say the, I don't know, just say like nothing really, let's say like let's say there's an error, right? You can say return nil. Sometimes there is a use for this. You can say it's red though, because there's no use case for this because of how the code's set up, and the text editor already knows what's wrong with this. There's no use for this, but just for an example, say this wasn't here. Sometimes you'll have to put like different returns in different areas that return different things, just in case maybe there's not a variable there, maybe that variable isn't declared or initialized yet, something like that, right? So you can put return. I can put return player money, player name for all I want. It doesn't really matter. But for now, this is what it returns, and returns are useful if you want to get a value for a money. So check money. If I wanted to like get the money and print it out, I could make another function, name it local function get money, right? I could put get money. It'll return player money. I could do let's do print, sorry, print get money. Boom. See? And if I do it, it'll return 1,000. See? So returns are useful. We will use them a lot for our project. You'll use them a lot anyways if you're going to continue coding. So yeah, that's what returns are. Okay. For the challenge itself for this video, yes, there's another challenge. I'm very sorry, but you have to learn yourself, right? Let's say, I don't know. Let's say you have to create a function that calculates how much damage a player takes after applying a defense value. We can say, also, just to make it a little bit easier for me and you, use both local and global variables. Global being a variable without like the local prefix, so like the difference is local money, and then coins maybe equal 10 or 1, I guess. It doesn't really matter too much. 10. So this is a local variable, this is a global variable. It just depends on where you put. This is also technically a global variable, this money one, but keep in mind, if this local money were in a function or an if statement, it would be a truly local variable to that if function, or to that function or that if statement or whatever it is in. Okay? Keep that in mind. So that's what local and global is. That's the difference. Use both local and global variables to we should just say that really, and return the final damage. There you go. That's pretty simple. So, oops. Okay, hope you didn't see that. Oops. Oh well. Hold on, copy that. I'll know. But yeah, that's about it. Try to do this challenge. Send it to me in a screenshot, or yeah, and I will copy paste it, see if it works. I'd like you to also take a screenshot of the output. That would be very nice, and hopefully you do it somewhat cool. I don't know. We will see. Hopefully make something cool, and yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching and reading all this. This is a lot, I know, but you're doing great if you already got here. So nice job.